Hello my country people. Now welcome back to my channel. In today's video I don come back with an ogbonge gist o. Na this video wey dey fly dey go up and down, now I say make I still bring come for my loved ones. Na the UK parliament dem don come together come dey deliberate on that massacre wey dem do for Lekki toll gate on the 20th of October. Dem say no, that kind thing no fit happen wey dem go open their eye dey look. Now dem come put the law say dem wan ban all this our Nigeria government make dem no dey travel dey come UK again. Abeg make I knack una the video make una see.
Our solidarity, demonstrate it by identifying and targeting those that we know are responsible for terrible violence and abuses that the activists have faced. The least we should do is to make sure that those who have murdered Nigerians and deprived them of their human rights aren't able to benefit from trade or travel to the UK. In my view, that should include the leaders of the government and the military who are now refusing to allow transparent and fair investigations to happen and for justice to be implemented. What I want to hear from the Minister today is that a list of Majinsky, I never say that word properly, sanctions is being created and action against those on that list taken in weeks and not years. Our role in this must be, I think, to work with all that we can to identify those responsible and ensure justice is done. And I would be so very grateful if on this occasion the government acts decisively.
Thank you, Mr. Gray, and it's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship and to follow the honourable member for West Ham who spoke so passionately for justice for Nigerians. I would also like to thank the member for Chipping Barnett for securing this very important debate. Now, this, of course, was a popular debate, and it's unfortunate that my honourable friend, the member for Vauxhall, was not called to speak in this debate, and she sends her solidarity with the NSAS movement. Now, I must begin by addressing the horrific violence we've seen inflicted upon young Nigerian civilians who were peacefully expressing their fundamental human rights against police brutality. As seen on media platforms, armed military officers discharged live ammunition at these peaceful protesters, injuring and killing them. It is, however, unfortunate that as of today, both federal and state government in Nigeria have issued conflicting statements on the event that occurred at the Lekki tollgate. This has left us with a series of yet still unanswered questions. Who exactly ordered the military to shoot live ammunition in a civilian territory? Why were bank accounts of some individuals who partook in the protest frozen? Mr. Chairman, if a democratic country deprives its people of their aspiration, livelihoods and voices, strips its people from their loved ones, forces them into hiding and instills fear of retribution through violent attack on free speech, then that country can only be a dictatorship disguised as a democracy. Is Nigeria a dictatorship? Now, having now asked this question, I leave the Nigerian public to decide that for themselves. I must now address the question of sanctions, which is what we are here to discuss. If we can ensure that these sanctions will not negatively impact civilians, whether directly or indirectly, then I do support a travel ban and asset seizure sanctions on individual officials found responsible. Now, while discussing sanctions is crucial to determining how we as a nation will respond to the violence recently accumulating in the NSAS movement, it can only be the tip of the iceberg. And we must use our platforms to hold the Nigerian government accountable through more than just sanctions. We must do the right thing by the people in Nigeria protesting for their own human rights and ask the questions they've given us the platform to ask, which is, what role did the Nigerian government as a whole play in these attacks? Will there be an independent investigation into the over 100 cases of torture, rape, extrajudicial execution throughout the NSAS protests? The reason the world knows about the violent attacks on Nigerian protesters is because civilians on the Lekki tollgate massacre bravely risked their own lives to post these videos on social media. Only a few Nigerian news outlets even reported these stories, and they were all subsequently fined before the Nigerian government denied the attack's existence and began silencing reporters. Agencies and individuals have since blamed one another. No one seems to be taking the responsibility. Nigerian civilians risk everything to give themselves a voice, and that they use to expose the atrocities inflicted upon them. And today, 4,000 miles away, the Nigerian government is strangling that voice with a proposed social media censorship bill. We must demand transparency of what is happening to civilians and amplify that news using our platform. We must continue to seek clarity on what happened on October the 20th, when power was cut from the Lekki tollgate and SARS police forces began spraying protesters gathering there with bullets. Now, I'm sure that many of us have seen the footage of peaceful protesters linked armed in arms, singing the Nigerian anthem as they were indiscriminately gunned down. Now is the time to hold officials to account for their crimes against humanity that they have embarked on. So I call for an impartial human investigation into these human rights violence and to begin a process to secure justice for victims and their family. As we try to make sense of the incidents, we must ask uncomfortable questions of ourselves. I'm referring to the fact that British officials trained SARS police squad from 2016 up until this year, 2020, and they also trained the Nigerian army. Now, I have to ask, what did this training actually entail? Could it have prevented escalation of this kind? Now, standing here as a proud British Nigerian, I implore the Minister and colleagues across the House to pursue answers to these questions and do what it can to facilitate Nigeria's fight for freedom. Thank you.
This video na for our notorious armed robber when dem catch for Edo State. May not dey let our citizens of the Edo State dey sleep, dey close eye. Now police don catch am because on the 19th of October, e run enter police station go thief gun. Make una see.
Don't do like go rapper now. Rapper. Why the point? Don't do like go rapper now. Rapper. Why the point?
On the 19th of October 2020, this suspect, identified as Sunday Effiong, was among those who invaded Oba Market police station in Benin City during the hijacked NSAS protest. The suspect carted away police AK-47 rifle and 3 magazines. According to report, the suspect then formed a gang of suspected armed robbers that had been terrorizing Benin City and environs. The suspect and 3 others snatched an Audi 80 car which they used in allegedly attacking several petrol stations in Benin City. According to report, the suspect and his gang members had stormed a petrol station along Upper Sakuba Road by St. Maragoroti Junction in Benin City for alleged armed robbery operation. But while in operation, a combined team of security agents arrived at the scene, resulting in a heavy gunfire. 2 of the suspects were killed on the spot. One of them escaped, while this suspect, Sunday Effiong, was arrested on the spot. Upon a closer look, it was discovered that the suspect was among those who stole police guns from Oba Market Police Station, Benin City, on 19th October 2020. It was further revealed that the AK-47 rifle spotted with him was sold to a cow rearer for the sum of 180,000 naira.
Don't do like go rapper now. Rapper. Why the point?
The suspect gives an insight into his criminal activities.
You see this video?
Yes.
Eh?
Yes.
Who be this person?
Me.
Eh?
Me.
Now you?
Yes.
What happen?
Now during the time they do protest. So if I no say na English for the work.
Because I see AK-47 for your hand just now. Police gun.
Yes, yes.
How na contact planner?
We not plan on that doctor so now get the connection. Now just call us, we all did together, now just we did together and
So how many people can't die for the operation?
Now 2 people.
Who be the people named them?
Doctor and Susunaga.
Okay, the doctor when he plan out, so when you say tell Namona go there, he die. There was a Ghana when he carry the AK go give person, he die. So who can survive now?
Now me once run.
The Edo State Commissioner of Police Johnson Babatunde Kokumo vowed to ensure that the people of Edo State sleep with their 2 eyes closed.
We want to reach out to the good people of Edo State through you, letting them to know that we are not resting on our oars.
Items recovered from him include 2 locally made pistols, cartridges, and mobile phones. From the headquarters of the Edo State Police Command in Benin City, Festus Alenke reporting.